Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to continue our breakdown of the Warhammer or World Championships of Warhammer preview that happened on Friday. At the end of this video I will link my breakdown of the Necromunda stuff. I guess it's kind of connected, but I covered the full preview and all of the glorious reveals and the horrendous technical difficulties. Certainly with the audio. I covered it all live, so that is on the live tab of this channel if you want to see my full, unadulterated live reaction. But I wanted to go through these previews because we normally get some more information. And with this one, we're going to focus in on Warhammer 40,000. We know that the 11th edition, while they haven't said, is on an impending collision course with next summer. Let's put it that way. So we have a little bit of information about the end campaign, and on face value I was incredibly excited about it, and I still am, but I want the article to give me some idea of what's actually going on, because I have many questions. But we also got a look at some new champions, which is what we're going to do first. So we're going to go through this. It's going to tell us a little bit about 3 new heroes that are coming, and yeah, this was the weakest part of the 40k reveal for me. But how about we just jump into it, and then right after we've gone through this article, we will cover the big one with Titus returning to Ultramar. But let's do this one first. So, new champions get stuck into close-range brawls in Warhammer 40,000. Even as mighty armies march across blasted battlefields and great assemblages of men and material are sacrificed on the altar of war, singularly powerful warriors and leaders make their mark on an uncaring galaxy through acts of skill, valor, and astonishing violence. Now 3 or 4 newcomers join the fight, bound only by their love of a good close-range scrap. The first one, Beric Stronbro. I think it's a cool pose, but the weakest model. So this is the Leagues of Votann new champion, and the Leagues of Votann have a long history of battling orcs, and among the innumerable kin scattered throughout the galaxy, none hate their kind quite as much as Beric Stronbro, the greatest champion ever to rise from the ranks of the Chthonian Berserks. It's probably why I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the Chthonian Berserks. His unusual clone skin blesses Beric with craggy skin that resembles his durability, while advanced augmentations give him strength to battle the deadliest foes and prevail. So in close combat, he's going to be a beast. Beric is not simply a wild berserker, however, and displays a keen mind for leadership that has seen his bands of Chthonian Berserks smash orc invasions time and again, earning him the impressive epithet, the Warbreaker. His crusades have earned him the enmity of a powerful freebooter captain, and it was during a duel against this hated rival, Beric's original arms were burned away by the baleful energies of the Darkstar weapon he swung, leaving them a charred ruin. I mean, he's got a fake arm there, and then he's got lots of scarring and things there, but that matches his face. I suppose, yeah, he does. His forearms are in fact missing. He has metal forearms. I hadn't noticed that. That's pretty cool. He won anyway, in case you were wondering. His new refined weapon is a unique artifact that combines the best of plasma, mass, and concussion technology, so he's going to be gross. And he's quite happy to match it against any enemy champion that might test his skills. The kin are nothing if not pragmatic after all, and Beric's warrior spirit blazes too bright to be kept solely on orc opponents. So we had the Nid Slayer with old Bernie, we now have an Orc Slayer with Beric. I just don't like this aesthetic. I like the pose, I like the idea, it just doesn't work for me. The Chthonian Berserks is not a range of Votann that I enjoy or want anything to do with, honestly. But, you know, cool story, nice idea, it makes sense. I do feel a little bit shortchanged that we've just had a load of stunning new Leagues of Votann stuff, and one of those things was the Tyrannid Hunter, and now we've got an Orc Hunter. I feel like they could have done a different faction with something a bit more exciting, a bit more interesting, and something a bit more needed, let's be honest. But it does tell a narrative, it does fit a story, and I think that this points towards orcs being quite a big thing. Next up, the Twin Lance. Before his secession from the Tau Empire, Commander Farsight was held up as the exemplar of the Mont-Car philosophy, the undisputed master of the killing blow. Now, new warriors have taken up that mantle, an inseparable pair of veteran pilots known as the Twin Lance, whose exploits write new legends in the annals of the Firecast. It's basically 2 fancy battlesuits. I think that they look really cool. I love these twin colour, and certainly the blue plate, or how they've painted it here, the blue plate and the detail, and the extra bits on them is really, really cool. I still don't know if they're that exciting. I like them, and it's nice that the Tau is getting something new, and certainly a new character. I don't know. Is it exciting? Tau players, let me know what you think, because that's more important. I like them, and if I was running Tau, I may pick them up, but it's not Farsight. The warriors Sunseer and Scatterflame have adopted a deadly close-range style of combat born from tragedy, where their bondmate and commander, Darkflame, lost her life in battle with a Genestealer Primarch, and the pair fell upon their foe in a blaze of anguished fury. Their newfound aggression blended well with their natural teamwork and soon made them experts at lightning-fast hit-and-run assaults, where they would thunder into enemy lines and eradicate key targets before jetting away as quickly as they arrived. Does that mean they have some sort of uppy-downy deep strike thing going on then? That would be cool. The Twin Lance are lauded as living embodiments of Mont'ka, and their reputation grants them access to advanced Warmaker battlesuits and wargear like their Neo-Capacitor shields, which absorb energy from attacks before unleashing it as a concussive burst. Okay, so their shields can fire back damage. Interesting mechanic, we'll see how that plays out. But cool technology, I like the idea. Sunseer prefers to blast holes in heavy armor with his fusion eliminator, while Scatterflare unleashes a barrage of deadly bolts with her ion scatter cannon. They now find themselves deployed across the frontiers of the Tau Empire, wherever the precise application of extreme firepower will claim victory for the greater good. I think it's just that the poses aren't that exciting. I quite like the idea, I like the lore, I like the models, I like the idea that they have these new suits, new weapons, these cool shields, they work as a team. I feel like the poses could be better, but maybe there's an element of customization in that, because with the Tau stuff there often is. But certainly an interesting idea, and I quite like this twin hero vibe. And then finally we have the Tyranid Prime with Lash Whip. It's simple, but it's effective, and this is probably my favourite model. Not the most exciting of them, but I think that this is my favourite model, and one I may pick up because I'm looking at Tyranids. But, Tyranid Prime with a Lash Whip. Tyranid swarms rely on leader organisms of all shapes and sizes to relay the will of the hive mind to their multitudinous masses, with Tyranid Primes numbering among the most nimble and compact encountered by Imperial forces. While winged variants have become increasingly common, many fight in the thick of the melee among units of Tyranid warriors and direct their hordes from a more ground-level perspective. As capable combatants in their own right, Tyranid Primes often find themselves dueling with enemy heroes, and so are augmented with wickedly barbed tendrils known as Lash Whips that ensnare foes in an inescapable grip. Nice. These specialized bioweapons made them terrifying opponents to encounter in close combat, and even the most skilled of swordsmen can find themselves bound in coils before being torn apart at the monster's leisure. These new miniatures are still a little ways off from release, so be sure to check back in with us at WarCom regularly so you don't miss the next time they rear their heads. And there is more from 40k and all the other game systems that were shown off on this reveals tab here. This article is linked in the description below. So is the next one. You don't have to wait or click on anything else because we're going to jump straight into the next 40k reveal. Yes, it's more Ultramarines, but I promise you, this one might just be worth it. And now over to the really exciting bit. Captain Titus, yes that's right, he's been promoted to his true rank of Captain of the Second Company, which is huge for Titus, back to where he was at the start of Space Marine 1, it's a nice full circle for him. I'm pleased. But he battles Necrosaur Amentar? Is that really how we're going to say it? For the 500 worlds of Ultramar. Ultramarines versus Necrons is the start of this brand new campaign. The Imperium is under siege. Times are so dire that even Ultramar is hard pressed. And with Rabute Gilliman busy overseeing the Indomitus Crusade, the defense of the 500 worlds falls to its people. While others push out to reclaim its lost borders, one illustrious captain is tasked with securing its critical interior. A task made even more difficult when a terrifying spectre of a lost Necron empire returns to plague the galaxy.
The Primarch Reborn demands the impossible.
presence, my lord.
He commands us to reconquer the 500 worlds of Ultramar. In the 10,000 years between his death and rebirth, how many worlds have been scoured by the archenemy? Devoured by the monsters of the hive mind? Sacrificed on the altar of Exterminatus? He is a demigod out of time, fighting for a golden age that can never dawn again.
Welcome home. Rise, Captain Titus, Master of the Watch, Captain of the Second Company, Warden of Ultramar!
The Primarch Reborn demands the impossible. But only in death does duty end.
Captain Titus, Master of the Watch. That's right, Captain Titus. No longer the humble lieutenant he was in Space Marine 2 and the secret level animation, so this is jumping forward. He's certainly going back up in the world, and as Master of the Watch is tasked with the defense of Macragge and Ultramar's soft interior, which brings him to the story at hand. And obviously his new model. Before we get deep into this then, what do we think of his new model? We'll talk about his retinue and the other characters, and on the whole, I like them. I don't like this model. I think it's the pose. I like the detail, I like the cloak, I like the chain sword, I like the bolter, I like what I see of the bolter anyway. His face, much more gnarly than previous, much more gnarly than Space Marine 2, I think. I don't really know what it is I don't like other than the pose, but there's just something off about it to me. I'd love to know what you think in the comments, so let me know below, and it might just be me. It might just be because it's an Ultramarine, but it is Titus, and I love Titus. But obviously the captain slot for the Second Company was occupied during Space Marine 2. As for Captain Akaran, the former leader of the Second Company, well, there's usually only one way Space Marine jobs open up. And we'll take a closer look at that next week, which we will cover. Even if it's a lore thing, I want to know why. So hopefully we're going to start to get some 40k lore drops, which would be fun. Even the most exceptional men cannot rule alone, and Titus's adventure has taught him that humans and Space Marines alike have plenty to offer his command team. His new miniature comes with an entire unit of helpful advisors and confidants, known as the Wardens of Ultramar, some of whom you may recognise. So, the Wardens of Ultramar is a single unit comprised of 3 Space Marines, heroic Space Marines, and some high-level humans as well. Rules-wise, it's going to be a really interesting squad to see. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this. The Wardens of Ultramar, newly promoted at Titus's express recommendation, despite his relative youth among veterans. Ancient Gadriel, from Space Marine 2, hefts the massive banner of the Second Company, and can always be found in the thickest fighting alongside the captain's mentor, veteran Sergeant Metarius. Both have ample experience fighting alongside Titus, and he values their advice above all others. So Metarius, if you've seen the secret level animation, is Idris Elba's character from that. He's finally getting a model. I love that we're getting Gadriel as well. There is somebody missing though. On the shorter side, Gaius Silva commands a vast fleet of Ultramarian defense ships and is an expert at handling the tensions between the overworked mortal crew and their often pitiless masters, making him an essential part of Titus's muster. Amelia Minervus is a highly respected legatus in the Ultramar Defense Auxilia and serves as the command team's liaison to its legions of human soldiery. Lucia Vestha joins Titus's war councils as a valued plenipotentiary and diplomat whose keen negotiating skills have saved the Second Company from needless battle on countless occasions, while the sharp-tongued and forthright Donal Cornelius is a veteran astropath who has survived for over 100 years in the Ultramarines' employ. So, familiar faces and other faces here. People new humans running with Space Marines. Are we starting to see, are we going to get, at the end of 10th edition, allied forces? You can ally guard in with your Ultramarine. Are we going to start to see these rigid faction boundaries breaking because that would be amazing. And if Titus is going to be able to lead, obviously, Ultramarines, I don't necessarily know if it will work like a command squad and he can take other, lead other units. It feels like he might not be able to, because this is such a mixed unit. But this is obviously something different that they're playing with, and I'm excited to see where this goes from a game perspective, because I think we're going to start to see this Allied Forces thing. That's my hope anyway. But each of them individually are stunning models. Pretty much all of these human characters would be incredible for Necromunda as well. Just shave off the Ultramarine symbol, they'll look so much better. But stunning, absolutely stunning models. Really nice way to start this all off. We have some closer looks here as well. So Cadriel, whatever he was called, I keep forgetting his name, Idris, I'm going to call him Idris. And then we have the human component. Really, really cool characters. I'm impressed with these sculpts. Titus will need all the help he can get, as a malign presence has awoken, and now moves with great haste towards the world of Ultramar, bringing bloodthirsty hordes of robotic destroyers in its wake. Even other Necrons fear its passage, and to them it is known by one name, Amentar. Necrosaur Amentar, stunning model as well, looks really good, and great lore. Amentar is thought by many to be the genesis of the Destroyer Curse, and by others to be entirely mythological, a parable of guilt and betrayal that harkens back to the shattering of the Catan. Strangely, all memories of its origins appear to have been forcibly removed from the collective Necron psyche, though only the Silent King has the authority for such sweeping modifications. And he's not the most talkative of people. Amentar is very real, however, and labours with surprising lucidity on its crusade to eradicate all life from the galaxy. It harbours an extreme affinity for the Catan, known as the Nightbringer, which we know is coming back, and aims to reunite its scattered shards to one day revive the ancient star god in full. This is widely considered to be a bad idea, especially by the Necrons themselves. So we're starting to get a bit of a Necron civil war going on. What an incredible model though. So many spiky sharp edges, it just looks violent and deadly, and very old. Really, really cool. The very presence of the Necrosaur is enough to corrupt the minds of Necrons, from the humblest warrior to the noblest overlord, and it commands vast hordes of enthralled soldiers. A selection of those, converted into brutally efficient destroyer warriors, can be yours to command with the new 500 Worlds Battalion Necrons box, containing a Hexmark destroyer, 3 Scorpek destroyers, 3 Ophidian destroyers, and 2 Locust Heavy destroyers, along with a pair of attendant plasma scythes. So this box has been leaked online, and we sort of knew that this was coming, but this is probably the start of the similar boarding actions boxes, where you get a small force to play out these smaller skirmish battles, or add into a bigger force. But they're not just going to do one battalion box. Certainly not branded up as they have with this. So I'm expecting Space Marines, Imperial Guard, Votan potentially, maybe Tau, because they have new characters coming. I think Space Marines is going to be more of an Ultramarines persuasion because it's based in Macragge. But this is definitely going to be the next big campaign as we draw close to the end of 10th edition. I'm looking forward to seeing more and hearing more. You may have seen the next chap already, but pretend you didn't, so it's just as awesome and unexpected as it would have been if he didn't slip his bounds a little too early. It's the Catan Shard of the Nightbringer, which we've talked about. We know it links into the Kill Team campaign as well. I just love that all of this is starting to interconnect. It really makes the game feel more alive. Kill Team is obviously its very separate game system, but it's set in the same time frame and worlds as Big 40k. So I like that we're starting to see it all linking in for big campaigns like this. This is what I want to see. As a narrative focused person, this is the kind of stuff I want to see. And isn't it just a stunning model? Turns out even a premature reveal can't dampen how impossibly cool this miniature is. A miniature of the year contender if ever we've seen one. The emergence of this Shard of the Nightbringer is a real worst case scenario for the Ultramarines, so it's on Macragge, or at least part of these 500 Worlds of Ultramar. And Amentar can't wait to set his spectral nightmares loose on the 500 Worlds. Nightmares. Yeah, he has more than one shard. The battle between Titus and Necrosaur Amentar is a seismic event, big enough to command its own set of campaign books. 500 Worlds, Titus. Captain Titus takes up arms in 500 Worlds Titus, the next major narrative expansion, for Warhammer 40,000. Presented as a set of 4 books enclosed in a decorative slipcase, 500 Worlds Titus tells the story of the Ultramarian reclamation and the embattled Vespertor front, where Titus and the Ultramarine Second Company are locked in a desperate struggle against a Necron force rife with the Destroyer curse. So this campaign book is actually a series of 4 books. I have no idea how much this is going to cost, but I want every single one of these. So in addition to the headline book, packed with lore, miniature photography and glorious new artwork is good. The 500 Worlds Titus set includes War on the Vespertor front, a complete campaign system for Warhammer 40,000 that pits 3 alliances against each other in a bid, control territories and capture critical locations across a large campaign map included in the set. So, a little bit of necromundery stuff going on here. Also in the slipcase is Dread Excursions, a boarding action supplement, nice, with new missions and maps that can be played independently or as part of a Vespertor front campaign, and a book of 6 new Warhammer 40,000 detachments for the Space Marines and Necrons. It's not clear if that's 6 between them, so 3 each, 4 Ultramarines, or 4 Space Marines and 2 Necrons, or how it's split, or if it's 6 each. It reads to me like it's probably just a couple of detachments for each faction. We're obviously focusing in on this small conflict within the 500 Worlds, but I like where this is going. Not just one book, but loads of different books broken down in one collection. This is the start of the end campaign, and they're promising a huge campaign. Like the fact that they have maps and new detachments and a whole campaign supplement, plus a book on the lore and everything, and it's all separate. It makes it easier to carry around. This is great. I am so excited. I hope that this is good. I hope that they've taken the time and the care into it. I hope it's not ridiculously expensive, because it looks expensive, doesn't it? Let's put it that way. But this has got me so excited. This was one of my favourite reveals of the whole show. There's a lot to take in, and we can't wait to share more about these exciting books and miniatures with you. That'll have to wait for now, as there's still loads more Warhammer preview stuff to see, so head back to the hub. It's all linked up in the description if you want either of these articles that we've talked about. They do say Titus will be back, we promise. So we are going to get more information. Obviously what's going on with the second company is probably going to be the first article. But I expect that we're going to get the big push for the 40k end campaign starting probably December. I think that this stuff will probably be releasing late December into the new year to give it a 6-month run. It doesn't specifically say, but I'd also hedge my bets that 500 Worlds Titus is the first in a series of these books. Hopefully that's the case. But this is promising to be a big shake-up, and the fact that they've been able to bring in Titus, to elevate him to captain, it is a face that millions of people know now from the back of the success of Space Marine 2. And then all the Necron stuff, Ultramarines versus Necrons, we're kind of going back to the Indomitus a little bit, aren't we? There's not a lot going on with the Tyranids, but I suppose they're not aggressively in this sector right now. I expect more factions to be coming. There's a big struggle going on for Macragge and the Ultramar sector, and it sounds like it's going to potentially be cataclysmic for some element. Certainly the Necrons are a big threat is coming to the Necrons. But I'm liking this. I think the sculpt to Titus, there's just something off about it, but then every Titus model seems to have something off about it. I don't know how I'd make it better. I'm not saying it's bad. I would have just preferred maybe a bit more of an action pose, because he does get stuck in. He's meant to be leading from the front. But as a box, I think this is great. I think this is going to fly off the shelves. It's going to sell out so fast. So if you do want one, definitely start thinking. And when it comes up, when it's announced on preview, maybe jump on it quickly. But this is all sounding pretty good. The new Necron stuff is great. The fact that we have a new campaign series coming, focusing in on a couple of factions. I like all of this. I like where this is going. And this is really getting me excited to get my Space Wolves on the table and join in the defense of the 500 Worlds, I guess. We've covered a lot in this video, but there's obviously a lot coming for 40k. I'd love to know your thoughts on everything. Which miniatures stand out for you? What did you think of the new Titus or one of the other miniatures? Did they stand out for you more? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, do all of the YouTubey things. The support is incredible. So thank you all for being here. As always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.